So the mesh thing is from that bike over there. It basically just holds everything down on this, but you can see I've just used the net to hold these two boxes onto my courier bag. Just perfect. So we had a massive festival here in St Kilda yesterday. Humans everywhere, just a big party basically. But I'm riding down Chapel Street and there's all these massively drunk units falling out of the nightclubs right now. Just full broken arrows. Just full retarded, big pupils, you know what I'm talking about. But pretty funny seeing people at this time of the morning come out of nightclubs absolutely buckled. But yeah, riding along this way reminds me that it's nice to have a change every now and then, just to try something different. Have a look at this hot air balloon, how close it is to the ground. You can break the walls around me. This is gonna suck. Oh. Waiting for you to cross the line with my feet. I face you. I got you now. I take you anywhere. I don't know what it is about hot air balloons, but I just reckon they're the most fascinating things. Literally, it's way closer than it looks. It's like right there. On the battleground, if love becomes a war, let the banners fly, let the arrows flow. This love's worth fighting for. Would you raise your sword, come and make me yours on the battleground. All right, you cracking humans, I just got home from work and it is Q&A time. Thought I'd try something different this week to see whether people would send through their Q&As on Snapchat. I got no idea how to use Snapchat. Anyway, let's kick this thing off. I'll open Snapchat now and we'll get into it.
Hi Matt, how would you keep so motivated on cold, horrible days to get back on the bike?
Mate, on cold mornings, the only reason you're going to get out of bed is if you've got people to go meet. Okay, it's as simple as that. Like, if you're going to go training on your own, there's probably a handful of people in Melbourne that I know that can get out of bed off their own accord and go riding on their own on a really cold morning. Okay, so you need to go either A, meet a group, or you need to meet some friends. You need people to keep you accountable. You need people to keep you on track. Otherwise, it's really hard, mate. Like, you know, that sort of discipline is very unique to be able to do that on your own, get out of bed on your own and go train. So I would say find a group. If you know a group, tack on to the back of them. If you've got some mates who are committed and they're equally as committed to you, they're not going to be drainers, because you don't want people you don't want to have to be motivating people. You really want to surround yourself with people who are go-getters, who are smashers, who really want to do well, and go ride with them.
What's up, Maven? Just wondering if you can, or how can you effectively train without a power meter?
Look, there's a lot of talk these days about training with power meters. Yeah, look, it's a fantastic thing. If you can get hold of a power meter, do it. They're awesome. If you don't have a power meter, it's not the end of the world, man. Like, you're just trained a heart rate. So bear with me a sec. So this is a Stages power meter. If you can get hold of one of these, they are literally, like, this is a Durace one, so it's not $900 or something like that, but you can get these in Ultegra, you can get them in SRAM, or, well, I don't know, whatever, but FSA I think, but they're pretty cheap. Like, for a power meter, they are cheap. They have this little thing which is basically stuck onto the crank, so this goes on the left hand side. put a little battery in there, and it measures your power output. This is, if you can afford, like if you've got a spare $700,000-800,000, get one of these. The other way of training, if you don't have a power meter, is by using your heart rate. Heart rate's not a great guide because your heart rate's always lagging. So when you exert power on the pedals, then your heart rate takes 10-15 seconds to really respond with pumping blood. So it's not a great measure right there and then in the now. So as you're doing an effort up a hill, your heart rate will sort of always lag behind the effort. However, you can sort of find your zones with heart rate. So there's so many methods, you know, there's the Joe Friel method, the Andy Coggins, Cycle Smart. I'm looking on Training Peaks here, and the other thing to do is just go out and press on the pedals hard, man. Like, obviously not every day, but if you can't, another great measure, if you don't have a heart rate monitor and you don't have a power meter, a great measure is if you can't talk, if you're hurting so bad that you can't talk to the person next to you, you're doing a good anaerobic threshold effort or a good sub-threshold effort. So there's always ways. You don't, look, power's a funny thing, right? It's only come around the last few years. There's still a lot of elite cyclists in Melbourne who are smashing it, right? They're absolutely dominating and they don't have power meters. Like half the A-graders that I put, half the really good A-graders that I put the GoPros on don't even have power, right? So you don't need a power meter, but I agree a lot with what Durian Rider says and a few other people. You know, power is the best way without a doubt to train. You can find your FTP, your functional threshold power, and then you can work around that. You can set workouts based around that measurement, and you can really get a good measure of how your fitness is going, what you have to do to get fit. It just gives you a better structure to your training. So I highly recommend getting a power meter if you can, but heart rate's okay, and then the next best thing down from that is general feel. Joseph says SRAM or Shimano, with some spew coming out of his mouth. SRAM. I don't like SRAM, okay, because I find that SRAM is the right changer is how you change it. So you push a little bit in to go down a couple of gears, and you push it further in to go up the gears. I find that when you're in the excitement of a sprint and you push the gears a little bit too hard, the gears go the wrong way. They don't go the way you want them to when you're in a sprint. And especially I find when I'm in a sprint, I'm sort of I don't want to be thinking about that, you know, I just want to be clicking and sprinting. So I'm not a big SRAM fan, but I am looking forward to this new wireless SRAM coming out, and I probably will try it. I'll probably buy it straight away. So I think it's out now. I'm not sure. It's out soon anyway, but I'm definitely going to get on and try it and see what I think of it.
G'day Mark, love the vlogs, keep up the great work. Just wondering if you have any motivational advice for C-grade riders who are continually getting dropped, and yeah.
Continually getting dropped in C-grade. I would probably question what you're doing in the race. So I'd want to talk to you about how you're racing. It's probably a lot to do with positioning within the bunch. So it's a lot harder to sit at the back of the bunch than it is to sit in the top 10, for example. Okay, so I always say to people who are new to riding to always try to push yourself up towards the front of the bunch and be brave, you know, like a lot of that is to do with your own personal courage and confidence. Okay, so be confident, rock up to these races, and you belong there. You know, everyone else in the C grade is in the same boat. So right up the front of the bike race, because down the back of the race, you get that accordion effect, you know, so as the front comes around the corner, the back sort of stretches out, and then the back has to chase on to the front. And what happens is the riders at the back always work a lot harder than the people at the front, because they're always getting that strung out thing and the accordion thing happening. So if you were getting dropped from C grade a lot, I'd say stop sitting at the back of the bunch, move forward. Also, are you doing turns on the front? The massive mistake that new riders do in cycling is they spend way too much time doing turns on the front of the bike race for no reason, okay? So when I say no reason, I mean, look, it's great training. You'll get fit. If you do turns on the front of the bike race, you'll get fit. But if you're getting dropped halfway through the bike race, you know, there's 40 kilometre bike race and you've only done 20 Ks of it. It's not really great training, is it? So I would say spend less time on the front, spend less time on the back, spend more time in the middle of the bike race, and just try to understand how to get a good draft from people, practice getting a draft. Go into a couple of races, mate, and pretend as though you're just trying to keep your heart rate as low as possible for the whole race. Okay, so do that for about 2 or 3 races, and then you'll get a good understanding of racecraft within the bunch, looking after yourself, understanding where to sit within the bunch. The other thing I'd say, and I'm rambling here, but the other thing I'd say is, don't push a big gear. If you're pushing a really big gear like a 53-13 for the whole bike race, you're going to get lactic in your legs and you're going to get spat out the back. I would be spin 100 cadence the whole time, like spinning the whole time, saving your legs, because you can get your heart rate up and you can get your lungs going, but if you lactate your legs, you're going to get dropped. Okay, so it'd be interesting to know more about that, James, what's actually happening there. Let me know how you go based on that advice. I really want to follow up and find out how you went, and we'll let everyone know. We'll let everyone know what worked. All right, buddy. So that's it for Q&A, guys. I'm going to go and eat. Hannah just dropped off this absolutely delicious looking salad. It's all carbs, very low fat, low protein, very high in carbohydrate. A little bit of fat there. The avocado is quite fatty, so but it's still high in carb. But listen, I am going to go and eat this. Thanks for watching. Hope you got something out of this Q&A tonight. We'll see you guys tomorrow.